Hey guys, okay, welcome back. I am doing our mid-year check-in. I had originally wanted to do these quarterly, but I forgot to do it at the end of Q1, which would have been March, and now we're at the end of Q2, which was the end of June. So I'm just gonna go ahead and do it as like a mid-year check-in, and then I will try to do another one for Q3 and Q4. Sorry, mom brain has me just a little bit slower than usual. I'm gonna try and get through this. Freya is down for her afternoon nap. She's been napping for just over an hour already, which is very unlike her for the afternoon nap. So she could wake up any minute, but I'm done all the other stuff I had to get done, so I thought I would try, keyword try, to record this video. So basically what I want to do is I just want to go through our spending habits from January up until now and kind of talk a little bit about what we're hoping to accomplish for the next quarter. So starting with groceries, you'll see that we started off spending around $464, and then we slowly started to go up. So $579, $658, $753, $755, and then in June we went back down, and we were trying to increase this. I mean, it went up for a number of reasons. One is that Cody got laid off at the end of March, so he was home all of April, all of May, and all of June. He also tends to eat quite a bit more meat than I do, so our groceries were pretty expensive. So I'm hoping that with him back at work for the next 7 or 8 weeks, that our grocery bill will go down. We also spent more on groceries in hopes that our dining out would go down, which was not necessarily the case. You'll see that in a little bit here. Baby, we changed this category to just be diapers and wipes. There's a bunch of stuff that we bought in February that I haven't recategorized, and I'm not going to bother to at this point because it's not that I couldn't, but it would just take a lot more work. So about $100 is actually a more realistic representation of what we spend on diapers and wipes throughout each month. But again, it looks pretty high here. Gas, we did really good in January because we went nowhere. We had our first daughter, our baby girl Freya, on January 11th. So we stayed home pretty much that whole month. And I think actually Cody even wound up going back to work sometime in January there, and so he was gone for a little bit and it was just me. And then you can see that our gas went up again for the following months, which is pretty typical. We tend to spend about $200 a month in gas. Entertainment was expensive in this month here because we bought a second Switch with Animal Crossing. Dining out, we did good in January, again because we had our daughter and we weren't going out anywhere, and then it picked up again significantly for February, March, April, because we were going for drives every day to try and get Freya to nap because she would not sleep at all otherwise, and she was a little colicky, and we were getting no sleep, and so every time we went for a drive we would stop for some coffee or some food or something like that because we were just like zombie parents for those 3 months. So you'll see that it's gone back down almost in half as of June, and ideally we would like to keep that closer to the $200 or even under $200 if possible, but that's where it was for the first half of the month. My spending money was significantly higher. Because I bought a clarinet. I played clarinet for about 12 years and then I stopped for about 10 years. Does that sound right? Did I play for 8 years and stopped for 10 years? I don't know. Anyways, I hadn't played the clarinet in many, many years, and it's something that I loved doing, so I bought myself a clarinet. I thought it would be something nice just for me. I was also supposed to join a band with one of my high school friends who plays flute, and then coronavirus hit, and so now that's not a thing. But I play at home sometimes, so that's kind of fun. Our spending money went back to the normal $120 a month each in June, and hopefully we will be able to maintain that throughout the rest of the year. Our debt snowball, we did nothing for the first bit of the year. This was in part because Cody was off work and we just had Freya, and we were just kind of like trying to hoard our money basically. And then April we also bought a bigger vehicle, so we traded in our smaller Chevy Sonic and we upgraded to a Hyundai Santa Fe because we needed something bigger. The car seat didn't really fit in the Sonic. It did, but you had to have the driver's seat all the way up, and so Cody's knees were touching the front dash, and then Freya's car seat was still touching the back of the driver's seat. So we had to get something bigger. So that's why our car payment went up. We started at $245 and now we're spending $501 a month, but we did make our minimum debt snowball payment in June, which is great, and that's what we'd like to maintain going forward, at least an extra $200 a month, if not more. And then our rent stays pretty much the same. We renewed our lease in June, and so it's actually $20 cheaper a month now. Gym is the same, and then Good Life canceled or froze everybody's accounts, so the gyms were closed, and they've just reopened it, so we're just going to start seeing that pick back up again in July. Tenants insurance has stayed the same. Our auto insurance actually went down when we bought the newer car. Well, it wasn't new, it was still the same year, 2016, but... And then our internet has gone up, so we had a 1-year promotional rate with Shaw, which is now over, so we're back to $110 a month. Power is, it always fluctuates. I suspect it's going to get higher now because it's getting hotter and we use the AC more, and that costs more money to run that. Our cell phone bills are quite expensive. We consolidated all 3 lines into one with Virgin. We used to have 2 with Virgin and then 1 with Bell, and so we paid out the Bell and then combined them all on Virgin. With Virgin, though, we still have our 2 lines that we've financed our phones through, which is in part why this is so high. We also live in Canada, and Canada just has higher phone plans for whatever reason. So hopefully come September, October, we can pay out those 2 plans, buy our next phones in cash, and then do a bring your own phone plan, which is significantly cheaper. And then theoretically we can save like $100+ a month on our cell phone bills. And then subscriptions. So January was pretty high because we had our YNAB subscription. We also had Dashlane, which doesn't show up in here because I don't think I'm going to get Dashlane again next year, because I primarily use the built-in iCloud keychain in the Apple ecosystem, so I don't see the sense in paying for 2. And then, so we're paying about $70 a month is what it was. And we've just recently, I feel like, saved some money on this somewhere. I'm not sure where. Oh, that's our average. Yeah, $70 a month. No, it's $70 a month because we still use all of these things. But we also don't have cable, and a lot of this is entertainment, like Netflix and YouTube. We watch a lot of Netflix and YouTube. Audible, we are always listening to audiobooks, and $70 a month for all of this is still cheaper than what we would pay if we were to have cable. And let's be honest, cable sucks. It really kind of sucks. Bank fees, we were really high in June from some stupid NSF fees with PayPal. I explained that more in our June recap video. Parking I was paying for, now we don't pay for any of the parking, so other doesn't really have a lot in here. Typically we should have next to nothing in here, but it's kind of like our random catch-all categories. And then our sinking fund. So baby, we just started recategorizing everything else that wasn't diapers or wipes into baby. So this would be her any kind of toy, subscription boxes, diaper genie refills. We bought a crib 1 month, or if we needed crib sheets, clothing, all of that goes into this category now. Household, we bought some new couches in March, which is why this is so high. In February we bought a king size bed, which is why that is so high. Otherwise this typically includes paper towel, toilet paper, household cleaners, Brita water filter replacements, any kind of repairs we might need to do to the house, that kind of thing would be in here. Vehicle maintenance, pretty self-explanatory. This is things like oil changes and changing out windshield wipers, or doing the air cabin filter, fixing a flat tire, getting a new set of tires, that kind of thing. So that's what these are. Medical dental, we were really high in March because Freya had a really bad diaper rash that was not going away, and we tried all sorts of medicated creams. We live in Canada, so a lot of our medical is covered, but there's a lot of stuff that is not covered. And because Cody's work is so he's always between jobs, it's project-based, so he's never with an employer long enough to actually get benefits, and we don't pay for third-party benefits, so we just save up money every month and kind of keep a reserve for medical and dental expenses. So March was pretty expensive. I'm thankful that we had money saved up. But yeah, that's typically what goes in here. So if we had to get our teeth cleaned, or x-rays, on our teeth because dental's not covered. Any kind of prescriptions that we would need. We would also put in here things like pregnancy tests, like if and when we were trying to get pregnant again and I needed to take a pregnancy test, that would go in here. Cody likes to buy these things for his nose to help keep his nasal passages open at night so he can breathe and sleep better. That would go under here. So it's kind of a catch-all. Life insurance, we put away, we save up money every month for that, and then in April of every year we pay our premium. So that's what that was there. Clothing was time maternity. Okay, so I needed some nursing shirts and whatnot, which is what this is. We typically don't spend any money on clothing, really. And when we do, it's either me replacing my entire wardrobe or it's Cody buying some stuff for work because his work stuff is very expensive. And then we have our gifts and charity, which is always typically pretty low. I feel kind of bad about that, but there it is. And then we have our emergency fund, trading and investing, which you won't see a lot of activity in here. Trading and investing you might now because we actually put money into those accounts, so it comes out of our budget. It's treated like an expense that would reflect on the budget. But the emergency fund, you wouldn't see that on here because it stays in our account and it doesn't get used. So even though we've saved up $1,000 in there, you don't actually see that reflected on here. You would see that reflected on the budget side. And if you see our videos, you will notice that. And then we have our business expenses. So March was expensive. We bought a new computer. April, we bought a new camera for the channel. And then the rest of it is just like other miscellaneous like software, like for Adobe or Microsoft Office or website hosting, whatever the case may be. So if we come down here and take a look, you'll see that most months, especially when Cody was working, we were coming out ahead every month. Then Cody got laid off for work, and so we were going backwards every month. And so our average for the year is, we're still ahead $7,900. So total expenses, $45,000. Total income does not show. $53,000. So there it is. And the reason why this looks so high is because we paid off our credit card, which was about $7,800. So we don't actually have $7,900 laying around. It's just that this isn't reflected in the budget. But we also have no credit card. Like you'll see, there's no credit card anymore because we paid it off and closed the account. So I don't have $7,900. It went towards debt. And then the other thing I wanted to touch on was our debt progress for the year. So if I come to our debt payoff planner, we have $40,000, just over $40,000 left. We started with $51,000, and our estimated time to be debt free is 2 years by July 2022 if we stay on track. So again, you'll see here we paid off our credit card, and that was paid off in March. Those are all of our payments here. So we have our debt consolidation left. That's the one we're targeting right now, and then the car will be the next thing. So our minimum monthly payments are $1,221.75, and then our snowball payment every month is $300. I did have it in here as $200, which is why $200 is reflected in the YNAB budget. But if I change that, it'll say 2 years and 2 months, because we didn't make that debt snowball payment in April or May. So I've increased it so that we can stay on track of being out of debt by July of next year. So that is where we are at. That is our mid-year check-in. Going forward, the plan is that we will maintain our minimum debt snowball. Ideally, I'd like to see $500 or more for the snowball, but we're going to aim for the $300. I also want to really focus on getting our sinking funds beefed up again, making sure that we have money. A lot of our savings and sinking funds, anything above that minimum $1,000 threshold, went towards paying bills while Cody was off for that extended period of time for COVID. So we would like to see those come back up, and we would like to make sure that we're still saving a bit of money as well. So I see that Freya is starting to stir a little bit and wake up from her nap. So I guess I will end this video here. If you guys liked it, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. If you aren't subscribed, please consider subscribing to the channel, and I will chat with you guys in the next video. Bye!